A second child has died from measles in the U.S. as the outbreak of the highly contagious virus continues to grow in the country, prompting the health secretary to urge the public to help prevent its spread through vaccination.
전염성이 강한 홍역 바이러스가 계속 번지고 있는 미국에서 홍역 감염으로 인한 어린이 사망자가 2명째 나오자 보건복지부 장관이 확산 방지를 위해 국민들에게 백신을 접종할 것을 촉구했습니다.
Yes, so
The measles.
I keep wanting to say security instead of secretary,
Right.
but what's happening is a second child has died from measles in western Texas in the U.S., and it's been intensifying concerns over a growing outbreak of this highly contagious virus, which they said was eradicated because of vaccinations. So this was an unvaccinated 8-year-old girl who had no underlying health issues, and she unfortunately died on Thursday from complications despite hospitalizations.
Very sad.
Yeah, and they're saying that Texas, the state, has now reported over 480 cases this year, and that was up from 420 earlier last week. And the outbreak is now spreading to neighboring states. And nationwide, more than 600 measles cases have been reported in 2024, and that's already more than double last year's total and the highest since 2019. So it is definitely spreading. So the U.S. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is under fire for a slow response, and he visited Texas over the weekend.
Right.
Kennedy's been a longtime vaccine skeptic.
Right. That's an interesting point.
Yeah, and he has confirmed the child's death and pledged federal support, including vaccine distribution and medical aid. So, like I mentioned, the U.S. declared measles eliminated back in 2000, but rising anti-vaccine sentiment has fueled recent outbreaks. And doctors and lawmakers are urging stronger public health messaging, saying everyone should be vaccinated, and there is no benefit to getting measles. And I don't know. If you can prevent an outbreak through vaccines, I really do think you should be vaccinated.
But we've read about vaccines and sort of anti-vaxxers in America.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit different to the situation in Korea because it's quite politicized, isn't
Yes.
it? 우리는 사실 이제 뭐 질병이 있어서 백신을 맞는 것이 그냥 그런
Yeah.
것으로 우리는 아프니까 백신 맞고
Yeah.
이렇게 생각을 할 수 있겠지만 미국은 그렇게 클리어 컷 아주 이제
Yeah.
뭐 심플한 문제가 아니더라고요. 뭐 정치화가 되기도
Yes.
하고 그래서 anti-vaxxers라고 해서 백신 불신론자들, 백신을 거부하는 사람들도 많이 있고요. 뭐 정치적인 이유 때문이나 뭐 종교적인 이유 여러 가지 이유로 인해서 그러다 보니까 사실 이게 쉬운 문제가 아니라고 합니다. 아무리 질병이 있어도 사실 코로나 때도 마찬가지고 지금 measles, 홍역도 그렇지만 이게 백신 맞는 게 좋습니다라고 아무리 누가 권장을 해도 개인적인 신념, 정치적인 성향 때문에 끝까지 거부하는 사람들이
Yes.
좀 있을 수가 있다고 해요. 미국에서는.
Yeah. But when it starts to affect your community and when like the larger community.
그래요. 그래서 이제 근데 흥미로운 점은 뭐냐면은 지금 현재 미국의 보건복지부 장관인 롭 케네디 주니어 장관이 원래는 이 백신 불신론자입니다.
Yeah.
아까 뭐라고 하셨냐면 vaccine skeptic라고 표현하셨죠. SCEPTIC. 그러니까
SKE.
SK 그래요. 하나 빠졌다 싶었는데. 네. 그래가지고 이제 백신에 대해서 불신을 하는 주의였는데 그런 장관조차도 여러분 measles vaccine 맞으세요. 이렇게 권장을 하고 있다는 거죠. 그만큼 문제가 심각하다. Alright, what's something that's highly contagious?
Yes, something that is highly contagious is, it means that it spreads very easily from one person to another, like COVID, something that spreads through direct contact or indirect contact, through, it could be airborne, it could be through contaminated surfaces, but anything like a disease or an illness that very easily spreads from one another.
그래요. 자, 그러니까 여기서 전염성이 매우 강하다, 높다라는 뜻으로 highly contagious를 쓸 수 있겠습니다. 자, 그 다음에 urging the public to do something.
Yes, when you are urging the public to do something, it means you are strongly encouraging or persuading the public to take sort of a specific action or maybe adopt a particular viewpoint. And you often do this when there is some sort of sense of urgency or importance.
그렇죠. 국민에게 무언가를 촉구할 때 urge the public to do something이라고 할 수 있습니다. skeptic는 스펠링이 두 가지가 다 되네요. 지금 빨리 찾아봤더니 일반적으로 이제 skeptic 이렇게 배우셨을 것 같아요. 이게 미국식이라고 하고 영국식은 skeptic 둘 다 가능합니다. 네, 저도 좀 헷갈렸었네요.
Yeah.
뭐
It's
혼용이
always
되다
hard to
보니까.
spell it out with words
Yeah.
and when you see it.
Exactly. I was a bit skeptical about the spelling of that word, and now I know. Here's the headline once again. A second child has died from measles in the US as the outbreak of the highly contagious virus continues to grow in the country, prompting the health secretary to urge the public to help prevent its spread through vaccination. Now let's move on to the next headline.
India's weather department has warned of an intense heat wave this summer with above normal temperatures expected across most regions of the country.
인도 기상청이 올여름 인도 내 대부분 지역에서 평년보다 높은 기온이 예상된다며 올해 극심한 폭염을 경고했습니다. Tell us more.
This is very worrisome because I remember coming in last year and talking about that weather. I think it was a news anchor or newscaster who fainted during while reporting on the very extreme weather conditions in India. But they're saying that most parts of India will extreme an intense heat wave this summer with above normal temperatures. And this is according to India's weather department. They say that many states have already reported weekly average minimum temperatures above normal by 1 to 3 degrees Celsius in February. In 2024, as I mentioned before, India recorded its hottest day at 50.5 degrees Celsius. This was in May. And the country's health minister attributed 143 deaths to heat waves between March and June. And the weather agency issued a yellow alert for several northern and central states, warning of soaring temperatures this week. Delhi is forecast to hit 41 degrees Celsius. And they say that a lot of regions will see highs above 40 degrees. And this is, it's tolerable, but it poses a lot of health risks for the elderly, for infants, and for those with chronic illnesses. And they say that in India, heat waves are typically seen from April to June, but they're starting earlier and they're lasting longer. And of course, this is due to climate change.
네, 작년 같은 경우에도 인도에서 최고 기온 50도, 50.5도를 기록했거든요. 근데 올해가 더 더울 거라고 하니까 작년에도 사실 이 열사병 사망자가 많이 나왔는데 네, 걱정입니다. 자, 일단 표현 좀 볼게요. Intense heat wave.
Right. So a heat wave is a prolonged period of abnormally hot weather, often lasting for several days, with temperatures exceeding the average high temperature for a particular region and time of year. But if it's intense, that means it's even higher or even more hotter than usual.
그렇죠. 뭔가 아주 극심할 때 intense하다라고 표현을 하는데 heat wave, 폭염이란 단어를 꾸며주고 있네요. 자, 다음으로 above normal.
Above normal. So we usually say above normal, above average, higher than average. So it's higher or greater than what is considered usual, standard, or expected.
보통 이상이다, 평균 이상이다. 그렇다면은 이제 평균 이하일 때는 below normal or below average 하면 되겠죠?
Yep.
다시 한번 제가 읽어보겠습니다. India's weather department has warned of an intense heat wave this summer with above normal temperatures expected across most regions of the country. Here's our final headline.
A new study has found that drinking coffee daily is linked with a certain type of bacteria growth that's believed to boost good digestion and nutrient absorption.
매일 커피를 마시면 소화 및 영양 흡수를 촉진하는 것으로 알려진 장내 특정 유익균 성장에 도움이 된다는 연구 결과가 나왔습니다. Tell us more.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm having a little coffee this morning myself,
Yeah.
thanks to 감독님
Yeah,
outside. But they're saying that your daily coffee fix might be doing more than just waking you up. It could also be giving your gut a healthy boost.
Yeah.
So this is according to a new study that was published in Nature Microbiology, and it found that coffee consumption is linked to increased levels of a rare gut bacterium. I cannot say the name of this bacteria.
You don't have to try.
Yeah, and they say that it aids it may aid digestion and nutrient absorption in our bodies. And this bacterium, it was identified first back in 2018, and it produces a beneficial compound that's associated with healthy gut function. And the research is still in its early stages, but
Yeah.
people who drink 3 or more cups of coffee a day, they said that they had 10 times more of this microbe in their gut than non-coffee drinkers.
Okay.
And other foods rich in colorogenic acid and polyphenols like those aronia berries, blueberries, apples, and pears may have similar effects. So if you're not a coffee fan, you can try those berries as well.
Yeah.
But they do say more research is needed.
What I found most interesting was that this was the same for decaffeinated coffee.
Yeah.
And I usually drink decaf.
Yeah, so you don't need the caffeine. So it's
Yeah.
not related to caffeine. It's just
그러니까요.
it must be some other substance that's in coffee.
그러게 말입니다. 커피가 장 건강에 굉장히 좋다는 연구 결과가 나온 겁니다. 이 유익한 이 유익균이 커피를 매일매일 마시게 되면은 많게는 뭐 8배까지나 안 마시는 사람에 비해서 생성이 될 수 있어서 이 장 건강에 아주 좋고요. 이 독특한 점이 바로 카페인이 들어있는 커피 말고도 디카페인 커피를 마셔도 이 장내 유익균이 많이 만들어진다.
Yeah.
오, 그래서 굉장히 반가운 소식이었습니다.
Yeah, and I thought it was kind of interesting because, we mentioned the berries, like aronia berries,
Yeah.
blueberries. And if you think about it, coffees are berries. They come from berries. So maybe there's some sort of connection there. But of course,
Interesting.
like we mentioned, this is in the early stages.
right.
So it doesn't mean you should go out and drink like 10, 15 cups of coffee.
With every study, take it with a pinch of salt. Because some studies say coffee is bad for you.
Yes.
Some say coffee is great for you.
Because
So-
coffee doesn't just have one substance
Yeah.
in there. Yes,
그렇습니다.
there are many other, and caffeine is not good for you in large doses. So yes.
어디까지나 이제 참고하시면 될 것 같고 영어로는 take it with a pinch of salt라고 해가지고 이거를 이제 알아서 뭐 적당히 받아들일 건 받아들이고 뭐 무조건 맹신하거나 이러지는 말라는 얘기죠.
Yes.
지금 이 연구 결과도 아주 뭐 100%다 이런 것까지는 아니지만
Of course,
이런
yeah.
이제 좋은 점도 있더라 이런 얘기니까요. Let's look at the word boost.
Yes, boost. If you boost something, it means that you're helping to encourage something or you're helping to increase or improve something.
그렇죠. 뭔가를 북돋거나 아니면 신장시키는 거 boosting 한다라고 하죠. 자, 그다음엔 nutrient absorption.
Yes, absorption. So there is a P in there, although it's very difficult to hear. It's spelled ABSORPTION, absorption. So it's the process where the small intestines take in digested nutrients from food and drink and transports them into the bloodstream to be used by the body for energy, growth, and cell repairs. So it's being absorbed. The nutrients are being basically absorbed into your body to be used.
자, 영양소 흡수를 nutrient absorption이라고 합니다. 우리 흡수하다라는 동사는 absorb해서 b로 끝나지만
Yes.
명사 형태는 p가 들어가요. absorption. 다시 한번 읽어보겠습니다. A new study has found that drinking coffee daily is linked with a certain type of bacteria growth that's believed to boost good digestion and nutrient absorption. Well, that's it for the headlines with Karen Choi.